Hey guys, it's Steve from PHYSIO4ALL. So, as promised, we're going to talk to you about ergonomics at home. So, most of the workforce now is working from home because of COVID-19. A lot of people are going to be sitting poorly, posturing themselves poorly, overloading their necks, overloading their spines, putting pressure on their hips and their knee joints. So, we're going to give you some basic principles and examples of how we suggest you try and adjust your workstations so that you're looking after yourselves. Okay, so let's talk about ergonomics around laptops. So a lot of people will be working on laptops, so whether it's on a desk, or whether it's on their lap, or whether it's actually on their lounge or their couch. Ideally, we want the screen at eye level. So if you're sitting, and again, if you have a chair that's incorrectly, the incorrect height, this chair adjusts, and I'll show you if you have a non-adjustable chair what the best options are. But if let's say I'm working here right now, and I'm looking down at my computer for hours, you can look at this posture, it's terrible. Your head can weigh up to 5 kgs, you're putting a lot of pressure on your neck and all the joints. The last thing you want now is a neck problem. So, some basics, and this is where the difficulties may arise, is that we need the screen height up. So, if people have adjustable laptop, so this is a little adjustable laptop screen height stand. So you can see now straight away, this is at a much better height, kind of seated eye level. Could probably come up a little bit. But just for the sake of time, I'm not going to get into that. Obviously, you've now lost your keyboard and your mouse, so you clearly would need a separate keyboard, okay, and then you would need your mouse. And obviously, your keyboard would plug in. If you have wireless or Bluetooth, you could do that. But ideally, you're then now posturing yourself much better. That screen could probably come up a little bit higher, so I could just adjust it a little bit higher. And if you've got some documents or paperwork that you've got something like that you can put in front of you, and that's a much safer way of sitting. Now, it becomes a challenge that if you don't have a separate plug-in or wireless Bluetooth mouse or laptop, it does become a problem, and we get that. So you then have to work around that, which becomes a challenge. But ideally, this is how we would like you. If you don't have a screen height adjuster like I have here, you can very easily use let's say some books, or these are little yoga blocks that we could easily use. Again, I've used 3, but you could use books, you could use bricks. So again, that's the height I would want the screen. What we don't want you doing is this, because that puts a lot of pressure on you. So again, you would definitely need a plug-in laptop keyboard and a mouse that you can set yourself up nice and neutrally, and there's no pressure sitting back in the chair and taking all the pressure off and working that way. Obviously, if you don't have a good ergonomic chair and you're sitting on just a normal chair, that then changes things quite dramatically, because that's going to put me a lot lower. Okay, so now I'm sitting much closer to the ground, and I would then have to adjust that height down quite a bit and make sure that, again, I'm seeing it probably, again, the height here is not ideal, but I understand it's not going to be perfect, but ideally, when you're setting up, your screen should be an arm's length away from you, screen height at eye level, and that you're using the mouse and the keyboard nicely. And that's probably where you want to be. You could use a number of things to just get your laptop up. I will say to you that if you cannot do that and you don't have a separate mouse and keyboard, you want to try and get the screen. You don't want to be doing this all the time, so even if you bring your screen up just a little bit, so you've got it up a bit higher, and that you can use the mouse and the keyboard here. But probably the biggest thing for me is that you're taking regular breaks and you're getting up and moving. And we'll send a post and a video on mobility and flexibility exercises pretty soon as well. Lots of challenges around this. probably one of the biggest things for you is to keep moving, keep changing positions. So if you are, and this is all you've got at home, then what I would suggest you do is move around. Don't just sit at the desk. Then you can change it. You can work there a little bit, and then you can get your, if you've got a desktop or a countertop that's a bit higher, and you can work standing up, then I would suggest, this is obviously not ideal because your head's down again, and you really want that screen at eye level. But if it's not possible, by changing positions, sitting, standing, on your couch lounger, don't get stuck in one place for too long. That's the trick. And for hours and hours you get stuck in one place, you're going to land up overloading tissue structures and joints and hurting yourself. So move around. Much better to change your body position as regularly as you can. Let's talk a little bit about you having a proper desktop at home, which is what I'm hoping you will have. Again, if you have a proper desktop and a good chair, wonderful. Again, you've got to make sure that your ergonomics, because if you do and you're not using the ergonomics correctly, you're wasting your time. Again, you can see the screen height for me is pretty spot on. It's 1 arm's length away from me. My keyboard and mouse are pretty close to me. My head's in a neutral position, and I'm using this chair nicely. And I'm using that to help me and support the process. Now, if this is what you've got, brilliant, and then you work off a laptop, you can stand and work off the laptop, but ideally you want a sit-stand workstation. A lot of you won't have that, but if you can set something up at home that replicates this is great. So as you can see, I've got mine here, and all I'm doing is getting that up nice and to a good level. And again, I'm just replicating my seated position to a standing position, and you can see the screen height is perfect, keyboard perfect, and there I am. So mixing that up all the time, sit, stand, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, stand for 20, sit for 20. Like I said, if you don't have this, but you have a countertop, I strongly suggest that you get your laptop and work at a height as well as just sitting. Move around as much as you possibly can. Get out and have a few walks, drink lots of water, look after yourselves. I hope that what I've given you here today is useful. There's obviously a lot of different aspects to how we do things, but I seriously feel that if you can get some of the basics right here, you will go a long way in helping yourselves. From all of us at Physio4All, we hope you're all healthy and well. Stay safe and look after yourselves.